Welcome everybody. It's another new space, but you're gonna have to deal with it. So let's talk about the Pixel 10. I wanna thank everybody once again for sticking around this whole time since Pixel 6. It's been 4 years since I accidentally kind of stumbled upon this really cool tech community. So I appreciate everybody sticking around and liking these videos. Back when Pixel 6 first came out, we just got the devices a couple days early, and I personally was really excited to see what the video looked like. This is a 4K 60 frames per second video test on the Pixel 6 Pro, and then just posted them on my random YouTube channel that I've had for like 10 years, and I didn't really use a whole lot, but just thought I had fun on it, and it just blew up. And then every year since then, I've just kind of done that. So, and then I've, filled it out in the middle in between when I can and stuff. But clearly, I've moved a couple times in the last couple of years. I've been a little busy, but I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody sticking around. So let's talk about the Pixel 10 series and see if it's going to be a worthwhile upgrade from Pixel 9 and, see what everybody's consensus is about it. So as with every Pixel 10 has been a tiny bit controversial, less so than normal, which I'm gonna attribute to the launch actually. And we're gonna talk about that a little bit too. I was extremely skeptical when I heard that Jimmy Kimmel was hosting Jimmy Fallon. I'm probably gonna do that more than once. I was extremely skeptical because Jimmy Fallon is known to be a little bit awkward. He's known to be a little bit fake. He's known to, you know what I mean? Just his persona in the late night shows he does comes off that way. I'm sure he's not like that in person, but it comes off that way. So I was like, oh no, this is gonna be a cringe fest. This is kind of what I thought. And then when he got on stage, when you juxtaposed him with like the tech nerds on stage, it was such a contrast that he was like laughing and like loosening people up a little bit. It was great, and I got it immediately. Within 5 minutes, I understood why they did it, and I got it. So props to Google for that. I'm gonna attribute some of this non-Pixel hate. I've seen far less negative headlines than normal about Pixel 10, and I'm gonna attribute some of that to Jimmy Fallon, correct? And the way Google presented the Pixel this year. And that's where we're going to start talking about this. So normally Google presents Pixel as like the best phone you can have, the best camera in a phone, spec phone launch. That's because that's how a phone launch is. This year, they did something a little bit different. So they got Jimmy Fallon involved. He went from department to department to department, and they played with some AI stuff. And then they did some stuff with the design, and he got to hold the fold, and he got to see the Pixel Snap stuff, and he got to interact with things and laugh about how the AI made some dumb replies on his texts with like the boss at Google and like the Jonas Brothers who were there, like in the text threads, you know what I mean, on his demo Pixel that they were using. Like you're just laughing it up and kind of like having a good time, you know what I mean? It was far different. So you got to experience, as the audience watching, we got to live through him as the host, kind of laughing at it, kind of laughing at the nerdiness of it, and kind of being able to experience it as a real person, as opposed to just getting a list of specs. You know what I mean? It felt so much more natural. And I really appreciated it, actually. So I think because of that, and because of that one scene with the table, with the folds and like all the colors and all the stuff on it, those two things in particular really, really helped to smooth over the nerdiness of how people perceive Google and Android as a whole. Because when people think of Google, they think ads, and they think Google Home, and they think they're spying on me. That's the things people think of, the normal people think of when they think of Google as a company, right? So when they think of Google Phone, they think a cheap Android, because everyone thinks Android equals cheap. Still, for some reason, I work at AT&T, I see it every single day. Still, to this day, people think that if you're broke, you have an Android for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's just how it is. They're trying to, it's just not working yet. It's just going to take a long time to get out of that mindset. So taking the time to laugh at their own expense and to look at these features in detail, to talk about RCS, to talk about the materials, to talk about the how they developed Android and how it's going to look on the phone. I can't remember the exact features that piqued my interest when I heard them talking about this, but I was like, oh, that's interesting that they're bringing that up, because this has been a feature for a long time, but they don't usually talk about it. And it's not really a direct feature. Like call screen, that's a feature, right? Dictation, like swipe to text, that's not really a feature, but it's a really, really good part of Android. So that's not what they were talking about, but it was something on that level that wasn't really a feature, but it was like a really, really good feature of Android. You know what I mean? That they were talking about, something smaller. That was like a quality of life thing that they were kind of like showing and demonstrating what Android was. And it was made really, really well. It was one of the new Material 3 expressive things, I think, if I remember correctly. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, feel free to comment it and subscribe while you're down there too, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos. I'm doing one I think either every other week or once a month. I'm very busy with work, but I'm going to do my best to do more than I did last year. Last year was very chaotic. It was an exception, but I was impressed. I was very impressed that they brought more to the table this year, and they were more thorough with how they presented Pixels to the world. They presented it more as a real social device versus a techie device on the level of like Xiaomi or Huawei or something like that, or Samsung. You know what I mean? So I appreciated that. So in this one, I'm not really going over any specs or anything. I have had very little hands-on usage with the phone, as is normal. This is just the demo devices that I've seen from my store, from my location. But I will talk about hands-on. I'll talk about the cameras. And then, I mean, everyone probably knows the specs already. And you can find that really from another place, or stick around for when I do an actual full review, then we'll go over all that. So again, I see a lot of, like, this looks like an iPhone. This is iPhone colors. But the Moonstone is a really, really cool color. I do like it a lot. It does remind me of the Sierra Blue iPhone 13 Pro Max, which I really, really liked as a color, and I'm sad that they got rid of it so quickly. So I'm okay with that sort of being a reboot. The blue color, I know people are gonna think and reference the iPhone 16, the cobalt blue or whatever it's called. But I see it as a reference to the Pixel 1, which looked like this. I loved that blue. They called it really blue back in the day because they had these quirky color names. And I've missed that blue ever since the Pixel 1. It was one of my favorite phones I've ever seen. It was, you know, I mean, it was cool. I liked it. So I think this is a callback to that. I know people are going to think it's a callback to the iPhone 16 though. So I like the colors a lot. It's one of the reasons I use Android, or use Pixel specifically, is because it's more fun than Apple, and the colors are part of that. So props to you guys, props to Google for the new fun colors, including the Fold. I like seeing it on the Fold as well. Believe it or not, that's actually one of the main complaints I hear about Apple devices, is people come in and they see the cool pink and the lime green and like the blue iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, and then they say, I want the 16 Pro Max in blue, and then I have to tell them it doesn't come in blue, it comes in black and white and gold. And they're like, oh, well, why can't I get a blue one? I'm like, well, they don't make it in blue. You know, you're getting a Pro model. The Pro models come in black, white, and gold, always. So that's one of the main things I hear people complain about, is they want more fun colors in the Pro models. So I know that the blue doesn't come in the Pro model in this, but, you know, my point stands that I like that they're doing more colors, and we have a lot of options. I like the green and, you know, all that stuff from the Pro models. As far as the way it feels, I mean, it feels exactly like the 9 Pro XL. The weight feels the same. The haptics feel the same. I didn't really do anything with charging or anything like that. But while it was shooting the boosted 8K video, it did get a little warm. It was hot outside in direct sunlight. It was about 83, 85 degrees and muggy. So do with that what you will. I was not able to complete the boost, just for future reference. I'm gonna show the clip in this video still, but I was not able to complete the boost because that requires a Google account, and obviously I can't sign into the demo device at the store with my personal Google account to get it boosted. So I'm gonna have to wait for the full review for that, but I will include that clip anyway, just so you can kind of see what it does, because the zooming was different and some stuff like that. I am really looking forward to seeing the 100x zoom and the higher megapixel camera, and seeing if the processor in this one doesn't have that lag when you shoot in it. And I often forget to switch to the 50 megapixel option on my 9 Pro XL, because I don't keep it on that, because it hangs, it lags when I shoot in it. So I'm hoping that the 10 Pro XL fixed that problem. I didn't think to test it on the demo model, which I should have done, but we'll get that in the final review as well. Just watch the clips here and let me know what you think. All right, new location, new space. This is a Pixel 10 Pro XL. I'm actually managing an AT&T store now, so thanks to everybody who's followed me ever since Pixel 6. It's been a really long time. Unfortunately, we'll start with the downside. We are testing the same camera quality since the Pixel 6, which is 30 frames per second, 4K with speech enhancement. I'm very disappointed actually that we can't go 60 frames per second with speech enhancement. I've wanted that for so long, and we still can't do that on this phone. I really want something more, something better. Now there is an 8K boosted version, which I'm not sure I can do. I haven't tried it yet on this device, but I know boost happens like through Google Photos. So since this is a demo device, I don't think I'm going to be able to shoot in it and test it. I'll try, but you know, I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to be able to do that. So once again, tell me how it looks, tell me how it sounds. We've got some pretty harsh sunlight here. Looks good to me. Colors look great. Stabilization looks really good. We've got a really busy road back there, obviously. So, as I would expect from a Pixel. It's not getting hot or anything either. It's a really hot day today. It is 83 degrees, but it's also really muggy here in mid-Virginia. So, yeah, let me know what you think. I'm really excited for this phone, especially for Pixel Snap and for the 100x zoom. I'm really excited for that. So, yeah. All right, I'm gonna start at a 0.5x at my beautiful AT&T store here in Salem, Virginia. Come stop by, I'll order you a Pixel. You can get it for free with a trade-in. So that's a free hint. You can always use the link in the description and get it for free with a trade-in. We're gonna try some zoom here. So be prepared, I might make you dizzy, but I'm gonna try zooming in really quick, because I tried this earlier and I think they fixed the problem with the lens switching that we've all been complaining about. Look how smooth that is. That looks really good to me. Now, also keep in mind, this is connected to the internet, but it is pre-release as usual. It doesn't have any boosters on. Like we're not boosting this through Google Photos. It does nothing like that. So I don't believe. Yeah, it'll go up to a 20x, and it still looks kind of blurry. So it's not doing any sort of. It's not doing any sort of enhancement. It's not doing any of that stuff that usually kicks in at the end, because it hasn't been released yet, as far as I know. So keep that in mind. But it looks really good to me. Looks, I mean, good enough to vlog with. It's super quick, but also very stable. Great colors. We got really cool contrast in Virginia, because it's always super sunny and hot. So you get really cool, like bright blues and greens and stuff with the sun, and then dark shadows. Pixel picks up on that really well. So let me jump down here quick. My stained Nikes from my jeans. Some big, beautiful clouds. I'm very impressed. It's heating up like a little bit. Like imagine when you plug it in with the fast charger after like 5 minutes and like it's a little warm. That's what it's doing right now. So pretty impressed. As usual, I know I'm a Pixel guy and I always say that, but This is going to be a step up for content creators for sure, because not only does the zooming work landscape, but it also works vertical. So, and plus with this new UI that they've made, it's all just a little bit smoother. So year over year, they're giving us what we're asking for. I wish it was a little quicker with some things, but I'm happy with this change. All right, this is the 8K boosted video. I'm not sure how it's going to process because there's no account signed into this phone. You can go 1x or 5x, and you can't even do the zoom slider. It's not letting me do that. It's only one or the other. So we'll give it a little jump down the curb. See how the stabilization is. Walk a little rough with it. Sorry for making you all dizzy, but you know, it's just part of the testing. Gotta test that stabilization. So if you're watching it on your TV, I apologize, but we'll see how this actually works. Because I mean, like I said, I thought it would process through Google Photos, but I could be wrong. So I got the sun up there. If you're ever in Salem, there's a really good Chinese place right down here. Phone is heating up just a little more. Let's see if it focuses on my hand. Yeah, there you go. Little skull. Shout out to Relentless Betrayal, where I get all my cool pirate stuff. Yeah. Let me know how it looks. Right, so you can't shoot. Should be 8K boosted on the front camera, only the rear. Which, whatever. I would never. I mean, 8K is really cool, and I would use it for editing because you can chop down 8K footage into like if this is a 4K shot, or excuse me, if this is an 8K shot, you can get like 4K screens out of it and not lose any quality, right? Which is cool as an editor. So I would use it for that. Otherwise, it's just a gimmick. I would never use it. And I don't really see any reason why why a normal person would ever use it. I've actually never sold a Galaxy at any AT&T store with the premise that they can shoot 8K video. No one even never knows what that means. I've brought it up many times. I'll be like, you can shoot 8K video. And they'll be like, I don't know what that means. Like, no one knows what that means. So it's really cool, and I'm glad they have it, and we need it. We do need it on phones. But it's just, I don't know. It's not the top of my list. I would rather have other things included in the phone than 8K. Like Pixel Snap. I'm glad we got that this early on. Google's leading the way with that. IP68 on the Fold. I'm glad Google's leading the way on that in foldables. Loss of pulse detection on the Pixel Watch. That's the first on a watch. That's really cool. So all I'd say, this is 4K with speech enhancement turned on. Let me know how it looks and sounds, just like the other one. I guess that's about it. So the last thing I'll say is they did not send us a Pixel Watch 4 demo unit, so I have not seen it yet, but I'm extremely excited that Nomad Leather is finally starting to make Pixel stuff again. They've been making Pixel Buds cases this whole time, but they gave up on cases after Pixel 4. For whatever reason, they just must not have sold many. And I've been afraid that I've been asking them. I even submitted feedback. Like, I've been trying to get them to do this again. And they just announced a Pixel Watch band. I'm thrilled and I'm so excited. Please, if anyone from Nomad sees this, make a case. Google said that they're going to do a new design every 3 to 4 years, so it's going to be safe. So I'm thrilled about that. I hope that Nomad starts making cases for them. And I'm glad to see we're getting some more consistency around Android phone design. That's something they've always been really bad at, and something Apple has been really good at intentionally to get case manufacturers to feel comfortable enough to invest the money and sell a case. So anyway, that's about it. Let me know if you have any other questions about the device. The demos are in the store now, so I can answer any questions. If you want to go find it, check an AT&T, check a Best Buy, check a Verizon, do a little guerrilla review, pick it up and shoot some video of it, put it on TikTok. And and just, check it out. My first impressions of it are good. Yeah, kind of the same. It's going to be iterative, but the zoom slider is a lot more stable. The stabilization, actually, I got multiple comments on that other video if I was using a gimbal, and I absolutely was not. It was all raw footage out of the phone. I put it together with an editor, obviously, and then exported it 4K, but besides that, it was raw. So I'm very excited to see the more minor improvements, but I'm really excited for it. And if you don't use camera stuff, this may not be a great upgrade for you, because it's some camera stuff and a lot of AI stuff. I don't use the AI stuff, I'm not gonna lie. If you have a Pixel 8 or a 7 or before, this is a great upgrade. So remember to subscribe, like if you don't mind, and then keep an eye out for the full review. Hopefully, I'm not even wearing a watch. I don't know why I'm looking at what the day is, but hopefully coming pretty soon. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.